Yes, now in this particular lecture, we are going to discuss the electrical braking of a DC motor. Okay, so now from this chapter, some of the points are remaining. That one of the point is electrical braking. Next one is the testing. So in next two lectures, that is on tomorrow, we will discuss that testing part. Okay, so let's start with the electrical braking. Now, what is meaning of braking? Braking is what? Braking is generally the process in which we generally decrease the speed of a rotating object, or we may stop that particular object, or we may bring that particular object to stationary position. Okay. So when we consider, say, vehicle, when we drive the vehicle, at that time sometimes we have to decrease the speed of vehicle, or at one particular point we have to stop that particular vehicle, and we generally apply brakes so that we can decrease the speed of vehicle or we can stop that particular vehicle. Okay. Similarly, in case of DC motor, sometimes it is necessary to decrease the speed of a DC motor, or sometimes it is necessary to stop that particular motor in case of emergency, or in case of some certain operations. So during that particular operation, it is required to apply certain braking techniques. So we have to stop that motor. So suppose there is a emergency stopping of motor required. At that time, it is necessary to stop that motor immediately, or sometimes we have to decrease the speed of a motor for small duration of time, and then again that motor may suppose achieve its running speed or actual operating speed. So under that case, it is necessary to apply some brakings to that particular motor. Okay. Now there are different types of, or different ways by which we can apply braking for the motor. So there are two general ways. One way is the mechanical braking, that is also known as the frictional braking, and another one is the electric braking. Now when we talk about mechanical braking, so in mechanical braking, the motor is stopped due to the friction between moving parts and the brake shoe. Okay. So whatever braking technique which is implemented in vehicles, that braking techniques are generally mechanical braking techniques. So there is a friction between the brake liners with respect to the rotating part of the vehicle, that is nothing but the wheel drum, and due to that friction between the brake liner and drum, we achieve the braking for the vehicle. Okay. Or when, if the vehicle is of disc braking type, then there is a one rotating disc or disc mounted on wheel, and there is a certain arrangement in that braking device. Okay. So there will be the friction between that braking device and disc will takes place, and we achieve braking for the vehicle. So this kind of brakings are generally termed as a mechanical braking. So in mechanical braking, we achieve that braking due to the friction between the rotating part and the braking object. Okay. So that braking objects are generally brake shoe. So under this particular case, whatever kinetic energy which is there in the rotating object, that kinetic energy is dissipated in the heat. So there will be conversion of energy, because we know that energy neither created nor be destroyed. It can only convert from one form to another form. So whatever kinetic energy which is stored in that rotating object, that kinetic energy get dissipated in the form of heat. Okay. And we achieve braking for the particular rotating object with the mechanical braking technique. Now there are certain disadvantages of this mechanical braking. So that mechanical braking disadvantages are, the braking is not smooth. Okay. Again, it requires the greater stopping time. Okay. So stopping time for the particular rotating object is high, and braking is not smooth. Again, there is a continuous wear and tear between brake drum and brake shoe. So we have to replace that brake shoe frequently if we apply continuous braking. Okay. So that are certain disadvantages of this mechanical braking technique. So the electrical braking or electric braking is generally convenient for the machines point of view. So in this electric braking, whatever kinetic energy of the rotating object is there, that is kinetic energy of a motor, is converted into electrical energy. So that electrical energy is either dissipated in certain resistance as a heat, or that can be again utilized to store or to charge the batteries. Okay. So whatever electrical energy which is generated during this electric braking, that energy is either converted into heat, that is in terms of dissipation of the electrical energy in resistance, or that may be utilized or returned to the supply source in case of regenerative braking. Okay. So for DC shunt motor as well as for DC shunt series motor, the following three methods of electrical brakings are frequently used. So that braking methods are: the first method is the rheostatic braking, which is also known as a dynamic braking. Okay. So the methods which are frequently used for the braking of a DC motor, that is for series and shunt, that methods are: first one is the rheostatic braking or dynamic braking, another method is the plugging, and third method is the regenerative braking. So we are going to discuss these three methods in short in today's lecture. Okay. Now the electrical braking cannot be hold the motor stationary, and certain mechanical braking is necessary in case of system where we apply electrical braking. So in that particular case, the electrical braking cannot hold that motor to stationary, and additional to this electrical braking we require some mechanical braking techniques. However, the main advantage of this electric braking is, the first one is there will be reduction in the wear and tear of mechanical brakes. Okay. And again, the stopping time of a machine is generally less as compared to the mechanical braking. Okay. So the stopping time is less, and there will be less reduction in the wear and tear of mechanical brakes. So let's discuss these three methods of braking in short. So the first method is the rheostatic braking, or that is also known as a dynamic braking. Now what we do in this rheostatic braking or dynamic braking? So in rheostatic braking or dynamic braking, the armature of the DC machine is disconnected from supply, and then it is reconnected across a variable resistance R. So whenever we have to apply the rheostatic braking for a DC motor, then we generally disconnect armature winding of that particular motor from supply, and we reconnect that particular armature winding across a variable resistance. However, the field winding of a machine is under excitation. Okay, that means field winding remains excited, only we disconnect armature winding, and the armature winding is connected across the variable resistance. Now what will happen? The field winding is excited, therefore there will be existence of a magnetic field in the DC machine. Armature is under rotating state. So under this particular case, the motor now acts as a generator. Okay. So armature slows down because there is no any supply to that armature, and under that particular case the armature motor runs as a generator, and whatever electrical energy which is, or electrical voltage which is induced inside the armature winding due to this generating option, that EMF sends a large current through variable resistance R. Okay. That will cause the energy possessed by the rotating armature to be dissipated quickly as heat in the resistance. Okay. So whatever EMF which is generated inside this motor, that EMF now circulates the large value of current through this variable resistance, and the current, whenever that current flows through that resistance, the heat will be formed, and that electrical energy get dissipated in this particular resistance in form of heat. So as a result, the motor will brought to a standstill condition quickly. Okay. So let's consider the DC shunt motor, and we have to apply dynamic braking for this DC shunt motor. Okay. So now this is the motoring mode for DC shunt motor. The armature winding and field winding both are connected in parallel. We excite this DC shunt motor with the terminal voltage of V, that will carry the load current of IL or line current of IL, then armature current IA and field current ISH. So under normal motoring mode, the motor rotates at say certain speed, and we have to apply braking for this motor. Now whenever it is necessary to apply braking for this DC shunt motor, we generally disconnect this armature from external supply or applied voltage, and we reconnect that armature across a resistance as shown in figure. So here we have connected this armature across a variable resistance R. Now field winding is still connected to the terminal voltage of V, so that will carries the field current ISH, and that will continuously produce the flux phi in machine air gap. Now what is result of this? So as there is no any supply to this armature slows down, but while slowing that armature, the armature conductor cuts the magnetic field which is developed by this field winding, and that will results in induction of EMF inside this armature. That means in simple, now motor behaves as a generator, and whatever the EMF which is induced inside the armature winding, that will circulates the large value of armature current through this variable resistance. Now this value of armature current depends upon the resistance which is connected across the armature winding. So according to the braking time required, we can vary this resistance so that we can achieve fast braking or slow braking, and accordingly the electrical energy which is generated inside this armature, that electrical energy get dissipated in this resistance in the form of heat. Okay. So this type of braking is generally used in a connection with a control of elevators and a hoist, and in other applications in which motor must be started, stopped and reversed frequently. Okay. So actually now again there is a different inventions in this machine and its control strategies. So now we not frequently use this particular dynamic braking in case of these elevators and hoist, but in old days in control of hoist and elevators, we generally use this DC shunt motor with dynamic braking, because in such elevators it is necessary to apply or it is necessary to stop, start and reverse the direction of that particular motor frequently. Okay. So that is about the dynamic braking. Now what will be the value of current flowing through this armature during the braking period? So whenever we apply braking, what will be the value of current? So here the current flowing through armature winding, that current is IA. The EMF induced inside armature is denoted by back EMF EB. Now what is resistance of this armature circuit? We are talking about armature circuit only, that means this, we are not talking about the field circuit. So what is resistance of this circuit? The total resistance become armature resistance RA plus the resistance of variable resistor R. So the total resistance become R plus RA. So during braking, the braking current IA is equal to EMF EB divided by R plus RA. Okay, EMF EB divided by R plus RA. So what is this EB? Back EMF EB, generally we determine that back EMF EB by P phi Zn upon 60A. P phi Zn upon 60A. So this is the back EMF EB, which is similar to generated EMF EG. So here P, Z, 60 and A, all these terms are constant. So I can write EB as K1 into phi into N. Therefore the numerator term EB can be written as K1 into N phi, where K1 is equal to constant, and that is equal to Pz divided by 60A. Pz upon 60A. Therefore armature current during braking, so these are actually during braking. So or you can simply say that braking current. So braking current is equal to K1 into N phi R plus RA. Now what will happen if we consider this particular equation? This RA, these terms are generally constant. So once we adjust this variable resistance R, then after this resistance is constant. Okay. Then if we consider flux phi is also constant. So we can say that the braking current IB, or whatever armature current flowing through this armature circuit during braking, that IB is proportional to the motor speed. So as armature is disconnected from supply, the speed of that particular motor goes on decreasing. So at the initial stage braking current would be high, and then after, as the speed decreases, the armature current flowing through armature winding also decreases. Okay. Similarly, when we talk about the braking torque, okay, so what is torque? Torque is actually 9.55 into, formula is 9.55 into EBIA divided by speed divided by N. Okay, so torque is equal to 9.55 EBIA divided by speed. Okay, so this EB can be written as P phi Zn divided by 60 times A, and then we can, if we take all constant terms, then the torque is equal to K2 into Ia phi, where K2 is a constant. Okay, K2 term is a constant. So what is Ia? Ia is equal to K2 plus K2 into phi. This is the value of Ia. So that is K1 N phi divided by R plus Ra, or we can say that torque TB is equal to one constant K3 multiplied by N phi square. So torque, braking torque TB is generally proportional to the speed of motor. Therefore, the motor speed, as motor speed decreases when we apply braking, the braking torque which is generated by that motor, that torque also decreases. Okay, so this is about the rheostatic braking or dynamic braking of DC shunt motor. Now let's see second method of dynamic braking, second methods of braking for DC machine. That method is the plugging. Now what is plugging? So in the plugging, we generally reverse the connection of armature. Okay, so plugging is simply the reversing armature connection, so that there will be formation of torque which is in opposite direction to the motor torque which is generated during motoring mode, and due to the torque which is opposite, there will be fall in speed or decrease in speed. Okay, so in the method of plugging, the connections of armature are reversed, so that motor tends to rotate in the opposite direction. Okay, so what happened, whenever we reverse the connection of a motor, at that time, initially due to torque which is developed inside the armature of a motor will rotates in the same direction as a motoring mode. But as there is a formation of a reverse braking torque or braking torque in the opposite direction, the rotating speed of a motor goes on decreasing. At one particular point, the speed of a motor is equal to 0, and instantaneously motor will rotate in opposite direction, because we reverse the connection of armature winding. Only we have to take one precaution while reversing this connection. For DC shunt motor, we have to reverse connections of armature winding only, because if we reverse connections of both armature and field winding, the motor will runs in same direction. Okay, so if you have to simply for DC shunt motor, if you have to reverse the direction of rotation, at that time simply we have to reverse connection of either field winding or armature winding. Okay, simultaneously if we reverse connections of both winding, then at that time motor will runs in the same direction. Okay, so here in plugging, generally we reverse the connections of armature winding, keeping field winding in a same polarity. Okay, now if we reverse the connection of armature, there will be formation of the braking effect. When the motor comes to rest, at that time we have to disconnect that motor from supply, otherwise the motor will runs in opposite direction. That means motor will starts rotating in the opposite direction, because there is a formation of a torque in opposite direction to that of the torque during motoring mode. Okay, so now this is the DC shunt motor and this is DC shunt motor during braking mode. Now if we have to apply plugging for this DC shunt motor, here the figure 2 indicates the diagram or connection diagram for the motor under braking mode. So we run or we reverse the connection of armature only, keeping field in same direction. Now only one thing, whenever we are going to apply plugging for DC shunt motor, we have to connect one variable resistance in series with armature. What is necessity of that resistance, I am going to explain later. So by connecting or by reversing the armature terminal, whatever current which is flowing through armature, that current get reversed as current flowing through armature. Here the current flows in this direction, armature current flows in this direction. For this case, armature current flows in this direction. So we are simply going to reverse the direction of current flowing through armature circuit. So as armature current get reversed, therefore there will be formation of torque which is in opposite direction to the torque developed during motoring mode. तो जो टॉर्क मोटरिंग मोड में डेवलप होगा उसके ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में अभी ब्रेकिंग मोड में टॉर्क डेवलप होगा, एंड ड्यू टू दैट द स्पीड ऑफ अ मोटर गोज ऑन डिक्रीजिंग. At one particular point, the motor will comes to stationary condition, and then after motor will rotates in opposite direction due to the reverse torque which is induced inside that motor. So if we have to completely stop that motor, so in certain applications, then we have to simply disconnect that motor from supply whenever motor attains at its zero speed, or whenever motor comes to rest position. At that time disconnect that particular motor from supply, and if we disconnect that motor from supply, then definitely motor will not runs in opposite direction further. Now what is necessity of this braking resistor which is connected in series with armature during braking condition? So if you look towards this braking circuit, during motoring mode, the back EMF which is generated inside armature, that back EMF is always in opposite direction to the terminal voltage. So if terminal voltage polarities are positive and negative, the back EMF polarity will be positive and negative, because that polarity should be opposite. Therefore the name of that EMF is back EMF itself. Okay. Now what will happen? Due to reversing the connections of armature, now you can follow the armature path. So this is the armature path now. So whatever path which I have drawn with the red color line, that path is now the armature path. So if we apply KVL to this particular path, then what will be the KVL equation? Forget about the drop across this, only see the voltage V and EB. So under braking condition, the terminal voltage V and back EMF EB both are in same polarity or in same direction. So apply KVL to this loop in this direction, that is indicated by blue arrows. Yeah. So if we apply KVL to this loop, then this is negative to positive, that become positive V. Then again there will be another source of EMF, this EB. Now what will be the direction? For this particular EB, the directions are, now this direction is additive, so that become plus EB. So the voltage is now twice of EB. So under this case, the voltage equal to V plus EB, and that voltage here, as we reverse the direction of armature, the back EMF EB and V acts in the same direction. So as back EMF EB acts in the same direction, there will be addition of these two voltages takes place. Therefore the total voltage across armature is equal to V plus EB. That means if normal operating voltage is say 220 volt, under plugging that voltage may rise to twice of this normal operating voltage. So that is up to 400 volt to 440 volt. And under this case, as the voltage get doubles due to the smaller resistance of armature, the motor will now carries a large value of current. So in order to limit this current during braking, we have to connect one resistor in series with armature, so that the current is limited to the predetermined safe value. So whatever a safe current is there, so current can be limited up to that safe current or up to that current by using this resistor. So as voltage across this armature circuit become twice of the normal operating voltage, because this both EB and V now acts in same direction. So as both EB and V acts in same direction, therefore there will be rise in voltage. Okay, there will be rise in voltage, and that voltage is nearly equal to twice of a terminal voltage V. So if we only connect armature, at that time we know that armature resistance RA is very small. So under this case, the armature will carry very high current, and to limit that current, it is necessary to connect a variable resistor R in series with armature. So that resistor is generally termed as a braking resistor. Okay, so that is about second method, that is plugging. Now third method is a regenerative braking. Okay, regenerative, name itself suggests that regenerative means what? In case of previous two methods, that is in plugging and armature resistance braking or dynamic braking or rheostatic braking, whatever electrical energy which is generated inside the armature or whatever kinetic energy of the motor is get converted into heat energy, and that energy is dissipated in the resistance R. So there is a loss of energy, whatever energy which is there inside the motor, that energy get lost. So now in regenerative braking, we can regenerate that particular energy. That means here kinetic energy is initially converted into electrical energy. So without losing that electrical energy as a heat dissipation in resistance, we can use that electrical energy for either charging a certain battery sets or capacitor banks, or we can fed that particular energy back to supply. So there is a regeneration of electrical energy takes place. Therefore this method of braking is generally known as the regenerative braking. So in regenerative braking, whenever we disconnect armature winding from supply, as we have to apply braking, then we generally reconnect that armature across the source of batteries, okay, or across the batteries, and whatever electrical energy which is generated inside that armature, that electrical energy is now utilized to charge the battery source. Okay, so these energy now utilized to charge the batteries. Okay, so that is actual regenerative braking. In drives and control, you will study this regenerative braking in detail. Okay, how we implement this regenerative braking for actual machine drives. Okay, so in that during that drives and control, you will study that regenerative braking in detail. Okay, so at this moment only keep in mind, in regenerative braking, whatever electrical energy which is generated inside the armature circuit, that electrical energy is utilized to either charge the certain energy storage devices, or that may be utilized to, that may be feedback or supply back to the supply. Okay, so there is no any loss of energy, electrical energy takes place. We reutilize that energy, therefore that that method is named as a regenerative braking. Okay, so these are the braking methods. So question may be asked for 10 mark, explain different braking electric braking methods for DC machine. So if such question is there, you have to explain the necessity of electric braking, then you have to write these three braking methods in short, explain these three braking methods in short. Sometimes question may be asked for 5 marks, explain regenerative braking, explain plugging, or explain rheostatic or dynamic braking. So any one note for 5 marks. Okay, so under that particular case, you can write appropriate answer which is suitable for 5 marks. Okay.